How you doing? Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVSAUDIO in Roselle, New Jersey. We just got these in the mail. It is the new Hertz ST25 Neo. So, we've been waiting on these for a while. It's just a little bit shorter than the old one. It's about a 1/4 inch shorter. And it's a little bit thinner. Yep. So the improvement isn't really the size. First thing that I noticed is they shipped it with a different crossover. So the crossover is much improved over the old one. They waterproofed it, heat shrunk it, and they moved it down the line away from the tweeter, so you don't have to worry about flexing and snapping off. The problem with the older ST25, it came with a filter cap like this. Most people were installing it here on the positive of the tweeter, and then from vibration, this would snap off. So now, you can install it here, and then it's safely away from the tweeter. Being the nerd that I am, I cut it open. It's 2 layers of waterproof heat shrink tubing, so it's got the glue inside, so it took me a minute to cut it out. They have a 3.3 microfarad cap, and then they added a little protection on the circuit, so if you overdrive it, this will open up and cut power to the tweeter until it cools off, then it'll reconnect, so it's a little more safety for the tweeter. I like to see that. It's a 6 decibel per octave crossover. I would have loved to see 24 decibel per octave, but at least they're trying. For those of you that are running the older ST25s with this style capacitor, you can do what we've been doing for a while now, and I know Chris Lowe from Garage Stereo Bagger does it this way too. You can solder the filter halfway down the line where you plan on installing it. Then, after you've soldered both sides, just like that, you can go ahead and take a small piece of ABS plastic, slide it under the cap, make sure that the plastic's the same length as the metal tabs on the end. Then you get your marine heat shrink tubing from Harbor Freight. Let me show you what the package looks like. The largest, or the second largest in the pack, works really well for this. So now you have your ABS plastic, which stabilizes the ends of the capacitor so they don't snap off. Slide it all the way into your tubing. Got no wires exposed on either side. And you heat it up. So now, the lines can move around and you don't have to worry about them snapping off. You can attach the line to your tweeters, mount the capacitor remotely, and you don't have to worry about snapping off. So now, the ST25 Neo, they did a couple of things that I like. So now it includes 2 gaskets, one for the top and one for the bottom of the jam nut. Used to only bring one. And now the lower jam nut now has Allen key screws to lock it to keep it from backing out. Anybody that's installed any of these horn tweeters, I don't care what brand it is, has had the jam nut back out, and then they either lose the tweeter, or the tweeter falls in the fairing, or the top ring is gone. So to solve that problem, we use a little bit of Loctite on the threads, because we've had the issue in the past. But I like seeing the jam nut up there. It's an extra layer of protection. So I know for a fact that Hertz and Audison have a few of the Harley guys on their team giving them advice, and they've been listening. I know Lord Phil from the Northeast Coast is definitely one of those people that helped them with the input. That's why the Neo SV165s are drop-in fit, fairing, lowers, pods without modifying, because they knew the measurements of all these newer Harley Davidson 14 and up, so they wanted to create a speaker that was weatherproof and it was drop-in fit. That's why they shortened the ST25, because now if you remove the mirror holes on your street glides, you can now fit these tweeters without having to modify. You just drill the hole, and then you don't, on the older one, the back was just a 1/4 inch too big, so you had to grind the back part of the fairing. That solves that problem. The thing I'm probably most excited about is if you install these in a tour pack fair, wherever you install them, you end up seeing the top of the tweeter and a bunch of exposed thread. The only other option was to buy some $100 covers made by a third party. Hertz now includes a nice looking cover with the tweeter at no additional charge. So now, including the price of the tweeter, you have 2 rubber gaskets, the lower jam nut, top jam nut, threaded Allen screws that keep it from backing out, and a new pressed mesh grill to give you a nice, clean, flush look, so you don't have to have the horn sticking out and then the horn visible. Another major upgrade, anybody who's ever repaired a blown horn tweeter, I don't care what manufacturer it is, most of these 25mm tweeters are very similar. Soldering that diaphragm, that voice coil in there, can be kind of tricky, and if you haven't done it before, you put it back together and the damn thing doesn't play. So there's a couple reasons that happens. You soldered poorly, because those connections are pretty small in there. So you didn't get a good connection, or you overheated it, and there's a thin ribbon cable in there. That ribbon cable, you can burn through it rather quickly. So now it's kind of a pain in the ass. So what they did on the new one is they made it stupid proof. The new one is a cartridge, no more soldering. You take it apart, comes with a new cone assembly, voice coil, and the connectors. It just snaps in place. No soldering. Let me go grab you one of the older voice coils so you can see what I'm talking about. New ST25 Neo, old ST25. Look how easy it is to break those tinsel leads. Now, I appreciate everything that Hertz and Audison does as a company. I love the fact that the Neo is out. We're still waiting on the 6x9 and 6.5 coaxials. What I don't understand is why didn't they make the ST35 Neo first? ST35 Neo, because the 25 is nice, but there have to be 100 different clones of this 25mm tweeter on the market. So now it's Neo, so it makes it a little bit different because the older one is ferrite. But ST35 is in a league of its own. Aren't too many 35mm tweeters on the market that fit as well as the ST35. This is the industry standard. The ST35 is what we go to on the Twisted 8 lids, Avant black lids. So these, I don't understand why they made the 25 first. I guess the 25 is their most popular and it sells more. I can't wait to see the 35 in the Neo, because once they shorten the back of this, then we won't have to modify the inside of the brand new saddlebag lids when we mount the horns in them. But I'm loving what I'm seeing coming out of the Hertz camp. We haven't installed them yet, but you know me, I'm going to put it through its paces. I'm going to test it against a couple other 25mm horns that we have in stock. But I could already tell you the fit and finish is amazing. The fact that they have parts in case you blow them up, and they're already available. And I'm really excited about the grill. We have, as a matter of fact, we're going to use these on Vinny's bike, and it's going to look really good coming out of the back of his tour pack with the tweeter sitting nice and flush like that. I'm sorry, that's such a nice clean look. So I love what they've done with the ST25 Neo. Can't wait to play with the 6.5 coax and the 6x9 coax. So if you have any questions, hit me up.